Well, all right. So, who wants to start their top three favorite game from any gen? Um, I got three cool ones that I really want to share with you. So any of you want to start?
I mean, I guess I could start if no one minds.
Super.
So, um, my three are kind of they're pretty different overall. Like, none of them are the same, and I don't know if anyone would expect this. But I'm gonna start with my number three favorite. Um, it has to be right now Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo. That game
Oh,
is amazing. Like, um, so it's one of the first games that like for the Metro or for the Super Nintendo that had such a huge world, and you're kind of just thrown into it, not really told anything other than like, oh hey, there's space pirates and they stole the Metroid and you gotta find it on this planet. That's basically it, you know. And you lose all your weapons and abilities at the beginning of the map, and you gotta get them back and use them to progress through the level. So there's a lot of backtracking, a lot of exploration, a few puzzles you have to figure out by yourself, and there's so many things that I didn't even like. By the end of the game, I didn't even find everything just because it's so big, and like they really make you search every nook and cranny to completely 100% that game. Um, so I really loved it. And the ending was absolutely amazing. Like it, I don't think like there's like absolutely no dialogue in the game, and I actually like teared up near the end of how like good the storytelling was just like what was going on the screen and not like hearing any dialogue.
hmm
Oh,
yeah,
nice. So this
So
was in the Super Nintendo?
yes,
yeah, bro.
Wow.
it had beautiful colors. The music, it was like, it was very consistent throughout all the levels. Like it always felt like you were like almost in the same level, but it changed obviously depending on where you were. But the transitions were smooth enough, and they really, really made you feel the atmosphere of like the environment you were in. So like just so many things were done great with this game. The graphics, of course, were 16-bit, so they weren't
Oh yeah.
amazing, but they were great for that generation.
Ah yes.
Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, and who doesn't love Samus?
Everyone loves Samus. She's hot and awesome.
Yeah, the most kick a female
I swear
protagonist.
to God, I think this people in this channel are gonna hate me so much because I don't find Samus that great.
Just whatever. That's your that's your preference, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
um,
but I know there's gonna be like comments like, "You son of a bitch, you don't like Sonic."
Fight me in Smash, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna be gladly. I'll use Tool Link and I'll beat your ass.
Oh man.
Nice.
My favorite meme out of that game has to be the Mega Man grabbing Samus's booty was his hand.
Oh yeah.
It was like, give me that ass.
Like that. Just-
Anyway,
Totally.
so speaking of Mega Man, my number two favorite game um, has to be Mega Man Battle Network 3
I knew it.
for the Game Boy Advance.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
Now, this isn't particularly an amazing game. Like, as far as RPGs go, and Game Boy games go, this is a pretty like okay one. And actually, a lot of people really dislike the Battle Network series. But as Cyberpunk
Why?
knows, like we had
Mm-hmm.
a lot of fun in that game.
Totally.
The storytelling is pretty okay, but what really gets you is the fighting in the game and all the battle chips you can collect, especially like the higher end, battle chips and whatnot. And the game
Unless,
is definitely best played with a partner or a friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
yeah,
because you can brag about like how strong your Mega Man is, how much you've grinded to get a certain chip or whatever, or you can do what Cyberpunk and I did and is get a Game Shark and hack the shit out of that game and get everything, and then it's just a battle of like who can deplete each other's
dude,
HP stuck in the middle of a broken field. You know,
oh
Yeah.
my God,
Yes. We
you
literally
guys,
broke the freaking game.
yeah, it's damaged to quite a few cartridges.
oh
So
my God.
Yeah, even the Game Boys couldn't last. They were so OP and broken. That Mega Man was 9,099 HP, something like that.
9,999.
99, yeah. It
And
was exaggerated.
it was so funny because each Mega Man game that came out afterwards was harder to hack than the previous one because
Yes.
people like would give up on putting cheat codes and whatnot for it.
Yes.
So like some of them were super glitchy, some of them were not glitchy. Some of
Oh my
them were
God.
glitchy in a funny way. Like I think I remember it was Battle Network 6 or maybe it was 5. We had a specific Giga chip that it was just all question marks and nothing would show up on the screen, but you would hear a whole bunch of sound effects, and then like the enemy would get like 5,000 damage or something like that.
And some of those chips actually freeze the game.
Yeah, some of them
Like-
completely crashed the game and whatnot. Like I remember the Gregor chip didn't work, but the Falzar chip worked. I think.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We broke all those Battle Network games, man.
Yeah, it was bad. It was, and the noise it made, man, those were nightmare-inducing noises.
Oh my God. What's wrong with you?
But dude, nonetheless, it was those were amazing games. Like
Yes.
it was so
Yeah.
fun to play. Like it's just like it was like Pokemon, but it was Mega
Hmm.
Man, and
Until you broke it.
yeah, but we were kids, whatever.
Yeah, teenagers.
Yeah, so and we were just having fun, and like literally like it was any Pokemon game. Like at a certain point, like you just you don't care about the story anymore. You just care about like leveling up your Pokemon and stuff,
Yeah.
and just fighting with other people. The most fun you get out of the game is playing with real
I
players.
remember. I remember the first time I started Pokemon. It was like, I'm gonna catch them all. I'm gonna train them. They're gonna be my friends. I'm gonna finish the story. So happy. Then I had my first battle with a friend. He beat the crap out of me. And and then when he beat the crap out of me, I decided to create the ultimate beast. And I started to. That's how the breeding started.
Oh,
My first
dude,
breeding Pokemon, which was a Charizard.
people get
Mm,
so obsessed into breeding like Pokemon, like
Yeah.
just to get
yeah.
like a specific Pokemon with a specific ability or trait or personality. It's
The
crazy.
funny part of it is that Charizard, I still have it. It's in my Fire Red version game, and it's like this Charizard that's level 100, and his defense is so OP that it doesn't matter if they throw him a hypo cannon, he doesn't die.
Oh my god.
Wow.
It's like he goes against his own weakness, and
Wow.
people hated me because of it.
They're like some of those games had their own cheats. Like have you didn't have to get a Game Shark or a Action Replay
Oh,
to
Oh
hack
yeah.
those
yeah,
ones.
some of them like Pokemon's most famous like it's not a cheat, but it's like a glitch.
Yeah, it's a glitch, yeah.
It's missing no Pokemon, um,
Yeah.
where I can't remember what exactly you had to do. It was like a random encounter, I think, and it'd be like it literally just be a glitch that you'd fight, um, and if you captured the glitch, um, it'd be like a specific Pokemon with a specific set of moves, and it would like possibly crash your game if you like saved or quit or whatever.
Yeah.
It
I re
was
I remember the first time in the Pokemon history that a shiny appeared, a shiny Pokemon. The
oh
first time it was a glitch, actually. It was a glitch in I think it was Jello, the one that had that glitch.
Yeah.
That it appeared like a Mewtwo, I think it was, that it was like more brighter than the dark tone that is he's supposed to be. And people were like, "What the hell is that?" And then people started like crazy about it, and like Game Freak realized about it, and they decided to create the shiny Pokemons. And since then, it has become this obsessive, destructive thing that ruins all gamers in Pokemon. That they must have all shiny Pokemons.
yeah, dude. I've seen people play like with two Game Boys or two DSs at the same time, doing random encounters over and over and over again, just to
Yes.
find a
You
shiny.
know, there's a there's a trick with the new games that you just if you start the game and you're gonna choose your starter, and you choose I did it, so I feel proud of it. I, I wanted to use Trico, which is my favorite starter in the Hoenn region. So I started using him. I used him, and and then I was like, okay, this sucks. And I was one of the lucky ones that I just restarted the game, and I started again. And when I used again my Trico, he was shiny.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that's the trick. You actually, if you want a if you want your starter to be a shiny Pokemon, you just restart the game, save before you get your Pokemon, and you start resetting it until when you grab him, he turns into a shiny.
My goodness.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
like that.
Wow.
It's exaggerated. So
So
which is your second game?
Well, that was my second game, like Mega Man. So
yeah.
Oh,
my
Mega
number
Man,
one
yeah.
game um has to be Nino Kuni Wrath of the White Witch for the PlayStation 3.
Oh yeah.
So this game, it's an anime game, and it was, I think it was in part produced by the studio Ghibli,
Yeah.
however it's pronounced.
Miyazaki.
Yeah, well, Miyazaki didn't do it.
No, it's the art though.
Yeah, it's the art style, and
Yeah.
he helped out with it. Um, but he wasn't in charge of the story. I think like he just gave it tips here and there and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that game, I played it like a year after it came out. No, a few months after it came out. And I remember I got that game and The Last of Us at the same time. And everyone knows that The Last of Us had an amazing story, but I
Yeah.
was moved more by this game than The Last of Us when I played it. And there's just so much exploration. You're giving such a huge world to explore, and there's so many creatures to meet and you capture and train them just like in Pokemon. Um, you give them new spells. You raise them like just like in Pokemon. It's basically like Pokemon, but much bigger and way better graphics. Yeah, and the fighting is completely different as well. It's more like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Um,
Alright.
so like I really love this game, but this honestly the thing that really drove me madly in love with this game was the story. Like like Cyberpunk knows, and many other people know as well. I absolutely love anime, and I'm a huge fan of anime. And Miyazaki is a genius when it comes to anime, and so is Studio
Yeah.
Ghibli. So, um, when I played this, I wasn't too into them yet. I had only seen Spirited Away, and that's one of the movies that I didn't like as much from them. Um, but this game won me over so much. Just the way it portrayed like how the different aspects of your heart, and like like how uh, you create lies about different people or things going around you just to make yourself feel better, just to alleviate the pain and whatnot. And so this game has like real like real psychological aspects to it. It's like telling a story about the protagonist overcoming like just very tragic sadness and depression, and like
Mm.
just this journey of overcoming that and overcoming himself in the end. It's a story of maturing and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's really good. I would recommend it to anyone. So
Nice.
that has to be my number one at the moment.
Nice.
I haven't found a game that has made me more
That
obsessed.
surpassed
Yeah, right
that
now.
one. Surpassed. Nice. All right, Kotaru, is your turn now.
Oh well. So my three games that have marked my life in the gaming history. Hmm, this is hard. Well, I'm gonna start just like Shinja. It went from third to first. My third game that marked my life so much was, oh my god, I remember that the name. It was like Pokemon. Obviously, that was my third game that marked me, was Pokemon, because it was the first time I was put into an RPG game. My first RPG was Pokemon. So I had never played a game like that in my life, and they were like, "Oh, you should play it. It's a turn based." I remember that in that time I was like, "Turn based games, oh, they suck." Because I was like,
Everyone thought like
I
that.
was that type of idiot in that
Yeah,
time. It's
I
like,
understand it very
oh.
well.
Yeah.
Then I started playing Pokemon. It was like first turn and then turn and then it came my rival. The first time I fight my rival was like, oh yeah, it's cool. It's a turn based. I was still like, it's a turn based. It's kind of lame in a way. And then it kept going. And when I started loving Pokemon was the part when my little salamander with a fire in his bat in his tail evolve out of nowhere into Charmeleon, and I was like, oh, he just changed. Like, what happened to him? And my friend was like, oh, he just evolved, dumbass. And that was Antonio. And it was like funny,
Yeah.
funny because he was like, he just evolved, idiot. I'm like, I'm like, oh my god. It's like, oh my god, he just evolved. And then I decided to keep traveling, and I started capturing them, and I got hooked with it, but really fast, and until the point I beat Antonio. Antonio was like, "Oh, dude, but you only been with this game like a week, and you're already more better than me." And I'm like, "Oh my god, it's like it's so cool." And since then, I started like loving the turn-based games, and from that, it opened me to turn-based games all my life, and it was like so the fact that you could. It was a game that it was big. It was a game that it was in a Game Boy Color, which
Yeah.
it was like you couldn't do shit in a Game Boy Color. But that game, you could go to places, you could go
It was
to
actually an
discount.
open world, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
an open world in a Game Boy Color, which you couldn't do shit in it. It was that mark a lot. It's like people say that open world started when Ocarina of Time started, and I'm like, no, open world started when Pokemon started, because Pokemon was like the first game in the like I have ever known that it was from that time that it was like big, because the Link series, the Zelda series was, they were big, but they were not like you could explore. It was like you
Well,
go here and you
they're
go
both
there.
they're both open world, but they're open worlds in different ways. Um,
Yeah, but the the moment they made it an open world that you could do stuff, like side quests and that stuff, it was like when arena times appeared. That was the time when they started doing that stuff. Like you could do and they were side quests. People can tell me they're not, but they were. Just the
Oh, yeah.
people never noticed the depth because they camouflage it so good that you never notice it. They were side quests, but they were. And Pokemon did that too. You didn't know, but to pass to this place, you needed to find a coffee. That the coffee you had to give it to the guy, so the guy would let you pass to the other side of the city. That's a side quest. Well,
I really hated that in Pokemon. It's like
so,
the dude is facing somewhere else, and you're just like, man, I hope he doesn't see me. You just right past right when he's behind, and you're like, oh, do you want to have a fight? I'm like, ah, damn you.
hey, hey, that was funny.
Dude, that was annoying. It was every freaking time. My Pokemons were dying.
Well, dude, that didn't bother me so much because you could just go back to town and heal and whatnot, and you could sometimes dodge them. What annoyed me was going into a cave and not having a repel, and
Or
Yeah.
and you
escape rope.
get and you'd be like you bombarded with a whole bunch of freaking Zubats.
In the cave. I don't know if you guys remember. Did you need
Hey,
a flashlight for the cave or something like
the
that?
flash.
Some of
You
them,
need a flash.
some of
You
them,
needed
not all of them.
Damn.
You need. Yeah, it was like in the Kanto game. In the Kanto game, it was just
Yes.
one cave that you needed the HM flash so you can give light to the
Because
place.
I think I forgot to just like I'm going this cave blind, and I actually passed it blindly.
Dude.
Yeah, I did that the first time. I did
Yeah,
that
you
the
can do
first time,
that,
and
but it's
I remember that I did it the first time like that, and Antonio was like, when I passed it, and then Antonio was like, you could have searched for the HM flash, and that would have helped shine
well
all the
they
cave. And I was like, you son of a bitch, you didn't
they tell
say
you where to
anything.
get it. Like if you read the dialogue, and I don't blame you if you didn't because as a kid I never read any of the
I
dialogue.
never read it
But
either.
like if you read it, like
You
you'd
know,
be
you
able to
know the
find it.
funny part. The funny part when I played Pokemon, it was that I didn't read anything that had to do with side quests and stuff. But I did love to read the lines when it was the bad guys or my rival.
Yeah.
Shit.
It was like I was like, oh, and I started doing voices and everything. I don't know. I was like this dumb kid that was like, yeah, I put like this voice to the rival, like, yeah, I'm here with my Pokemon and I'm going to challenge you, something
I
like
think
that. It was a
everyone did.
stupid voice.
Yeah.
Everyone did. Put the voices.
And I
Yeah.
and when the Team Rocket guy came, Giovanni, the bad guy, I was like, so we're Team Rocket and we are here too. It was like something like that. Every time, like I was, yeah, kids in my time we were weird.
Yeah.
At least we're better than this generation.
Oh,
It's too
boom,
early to say.
boom.
There's some hope. There's some
Yeah,
hope.
there's some hope.
Our
Yeah, so
children
you
will be better, maybe.
Yes.
unless you play Call of Duty and you hear this guy out of nowhere, I fuck your mom.
Oh
Oh my
man.
god,
Well, let's
dude.
continue with your favorite before we go on a rant.
Yeah, I was. You just stopped me because I was about to.
Yeah. Before we go on a
Okay.
rant.
So my second favorite game was Batman Arkham Asylum. Asylum.
As- Asylum.
Asylum.
Is that the
Asylum.
first one?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It was the first that Rocksteady that throws this different style of Batman, because every other game of Batman was like pew pew punch, takedown and keep running. And uh, forgot what was the other part. Oh yeah, it was like this shitty action sequence. Like
A
they
lot
were
of the
always
Batman
like
games were
dumb.
just like straight up side scrollers. They were not. They were more action games than stealth games.
Yeah,
This one actually made you
and
feel like the new
then
Batman.
Yeah.
and then it came the Arkham City series, which were like these different styles of Batman. It was a different style because it was a darker Batman than what people are used to in the games. And the fact that the Joker, because I was like when the beginning starts you taking the Joker to the Arkham Institute, and you were like, oh yeah, that's normal Batman. Grab Joker and everything's okay. But out of nowhere, the Joker was expecting that, and then he takes over the place, and you're like, what? Uh, Joker did that? And then you're forced to stay because he closed the doors,
Mm.
and you can't go out, which is I was like, I can still go out because once you get out, inside the island, it's like there's no roof in one part, and I'm like, I can just call it the Batwing and just leak the place and leak the Joker inside.
I'm pretty
What
sure
was the point?
there's some sort of like plot twist or plot
Yeah.
device that
Yeah,
makes it so that you can't leave.
yeah, that was the beginning. I thought that, but then when you keep going in the story, he did something in the air that if you try to run, it will kind of poison you. And then I was like, oh, okay, that explains why I can't run away. and but it was like this different style of Batman, this different style of fighting in Batman. It was the first game that actually did what Batman does: kick the butt of a lot of guys.
Nice. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, because you see the movies and you see Batman fighting like four guys at the same time, kicking their butts, and then you see the side scrolling Batman, and you're like punching a guy, and the other guy's like waiting till you finish the other guy.
Yeah.
They're like
So
they have
unreal.
they have so much honor that they're like, yeah, beat him up, and then you can beat me up. Don't worry about it. So it was dumb, and then it came the Arkham series with this style that everybody kicks your ass, and it doesn't matter. Even the dumbest, if you don't look your surroundings, it can come the most dumb bad guy and kick your ass. And it was like in the game, and it was a game that made you feel bad if you died, because every time you died, it appears like if one of the bad guys from the penguin beat you up, it would appear like the penguin in the game over sequence, and he would be like, "Oh my god, I thought you were better than that," and they're like insulting you so bad, and it yeah, it make you feel like shit. You were like, "Oh my, I need to beat this guy," and
Yeah.
so it was a different Batman. That's the point of it. That it was different. It was not the same Batman that the developers of other studios making us like get used to. Because
Yeah.
it got to a point that when they throw this game, a lot of people didn't bought it. They were like, yeah, it's another Batman game, which
Yeah.
is probably shit. But then since I think from that time the Let's Play started, right?
Somewhere around that time, like Let's Plays had
Yeah.
started a little bit before.
Because I think that game, what made people realize that the game was different, I think it was the Let's Plays. Because that's how I know about the game. Because I knew that the game was coming, and I was like, it's a piece of shit probably. But then I saw a Let's Play, and I was like, oh, this is different.
Dude,
And
one
then
of
I
my
was, and
yeah, I was gonna say one of my favorite aspects about that game is that there's so many Easter eggs and hidden like secrets in the game
oh
and
yeah,
they were so well hidden that like even years after the game came out, people were still finding out like new secret Easter eggs for like
I
different things. Like I know of one specific one. I can't remember what it was, but it was like hidden behind a painting or something, and no one had found it. And it was like years after the game had come out that one person finally found it and uploaded a video about it. So
Yeah,
Wow.
and even when Arkham City came, which was the second one, uh, there were Easter eggs too there that people didn't kind of find easily, and people and even some Let's Players actually found them, and they were like, "Oh, this I never see this in another place," and people were like, "Oh my God, you see this guy? He just found that." It was like the game was like so Rocksteady. I take my hat on to them. They really killed themselves doing the game because and they put you know what's like you know what it's like to see because I always saw Dr. Freeze as the dumb guy, but thanks to Arkham series, I'm actually scared of Dr. Freeze now
Mm.
because he's kind of he's and you feel bad for him in that game too because he's actually not that bad. He just wants to help his wife. So he's not even bad in a way because he's just maybe he's doing wrong things like I gotta take this stuff and he takes the money because he robs money because he wants to have research so he can cure his wife that is like in cryo state
yeah,
and you understand that story because in the cartoons they said it that happened to his wife, but still they put him like the most bad guy ever.
well, like
And
he's
then
doing evil stuff to like justify
yeah,
like or what he's doing. It's still bad, but like you know, it's not.
yeah,
It's
I
for
know,
a
I know.
good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, the difference is he's still doing bad things, but in the game makes you realize that he's actually doing it because he needs to do it so he can help his wife. That he needs to blah 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 get out of the cryo state, which in the new game Batman Arkham Knight, because Arkham Origin is not a Arkham series. I keep saying it. Uh, it's actually finally cured. And if you take the DLC that I don't know what's the name of the DLC, but there's a DLC that they put Ra's al Ghul. It's back, which I was like, why Ra's al Ghul is back? I killed him in the stupid Lazarus pit. Why he's back? And Killer Croc was on the other one, I think. And mm, and it was Dr. Freeze, and the story with Dr. Freeze was kind of cool. You helped him, and then you kind of help him wake up his wife, and his wife actually wakes up in that game. But the point is, it's a game that actually changed Batman in forever in game history.
Nice.
So you gotta say, did you actually play it, Abian?
I did
Have
play
you?
it, but it was way back in the days when I was not familiar to those kinds of games. But if I play it today, I might like it. I still like the Arkham series, except for the Origins one. What what the heck? Yeah. But yeah, I'm still going to at least buy one of those games and let's see if I can play. But yeah, it's I'll I'll do that because I really like Batman. Yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely a great
And
game.
yeah, that's true. A
yeah,
great game.
totally.
And my first game,
Number
which is
one.
hard. It's hard because I was planning to say one, but then recent stuff happened in my life which makes me change it. Because I was like, the one I was gonna say, I'm still gonna say it because it's still in my heart. is the White Knight
I
Chronicles.
knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. Well, Night Chronicles. Here we go.
But that was what the one I was gonna say that it was gonna be.
Okay,
Because
but what's the other one?
it's awesome, but since this one beat it, I'm pretty sure Christian's already imagining what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I already know.
It's The Witcher.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I saw that coming.
Because okay, I'm a guy that has played RPGs, but RPGs roleplay. Because I love to take decisions. I love to feel bad if I do a bad decision.
Yeah.
Because it's like it takes to a part that it hits your morality very hard. Those games hit you so hard because it makes you take decisions, and then you realize that that decision was not the right one,
Here's the
and
thing
you're
about The
like,
Witcher, though. You'll never be happy with any decision you make. You'll
actually,
always
you
feel
know
like
what?
complete shit.
You know what? You know what? There's a reason why. There's a reason why I say The Witcher. I love it because until now, all the decisions that I taken, I feel good about them.
I don't know, man.
I think I think I'm a heartless bitch.
Was it worth killing
Because
all those innocent dwarves and whatnot just to have sex with Triss?
I didn't have sex with Trish.
That's a good question right there.
I didn't have sex with
So
Trish
what kind of
because
positions did you choose?
because I was like the redhead looks good, but I want the black haired. I was
It
like,
doesn't matter. You can still have sex with her. It's just if you say "I love you" that you're screwed.
fuck.
Yeah, this podcast turned into rated R right now.
By the way, Zyberpunk, you're gonna have to put spoiler warnings before this.
Oh yeah, I think everyone
Yeah, because I'm
knows.
pretty sure I'm gonna say stuff that people don't. There's a lot of decisions in The Witcher because there's one thing that you gotta understand. Any decision you take, it might help somebody, but you fuck somebody.
Basically.
It's like- yeah.
And it might not happen until like way later in the game. Like it's not
Yeah.
like immediate.
And the game is a bitch because the game makes you go back to the place so you can know what you did.
Yep.
Wow.
It's like okay, let me give you the Baron. The Baron. Everybody has seen this already, so there's not gonna be spoilers in this. The Baron. There's the Bloody Baron. The Bloody Baron is like this guy that he comes at you and he's like, "Ah, my child. I don't find my child or my wife. Help me, please, Witcher." And you're like the nice Witcher. You go, "Yes, I'll help you." In the process, you're helping him. You notice and you realize that the guy abuses his family. He smacks his wife. And he doesn't smack his daughter. He just smacks his wife every time he had the opportunity. So you know that the guy hits his wife, and you're like, you can do two, and then the game gives you two options in a response in one of the parts that it's like you can go like, I understand you, man. Don't worry about it, because he kind of explains you why he hits his wife in a way, which and when you realize about it, it's kind of it's part of her wife's fault too, because she's like she shitted on him like shit. It's like, but still, it doesn't. Yet it doesn't help the fact that he still hits her. So
We don't condone
Uh,
domestic abuse here.
yes,
Yeah.
please do not mistake in my words. But there's like two options in the answer that you could go like sympathy and go, oh yes, I'm sorry, man, or you can go what I did. It's your fault, you piece of shit.
Well, there's a third option as well. There's the I don't care, whatever. You're both
Yeah.
assholes.
It's true, but no, I went by the one that was like, it's your fault, you piece of shit. I went like this bitch guy all the time with him.
Well,
And
when you
it-
hear more of the story, you realize that it actually wasn't completely his fault either. Like,
Yeah, I know.
because
When
she
you,
loses her
I
baby, and you realize it wasn't his fault that she lost the baby.
yeah, because that's the thing. She loses a baby, and in the beginning, the Baron thinks it's his fault because he was hitting her and that stuff. But no, it was actually because she made a pact with the witches, and because she didn't want to have the child because it was from a guy that she didn't loved. So the witches made a pact, but it came with a consequence, which made her the slave of the witches. But and she loses the baby. The baby never got a funeral, and because the baby never got a funeral, the baby become a botchling, which a botchling is like a cursed baby that kills babies.
Yeah, it goes after pregnant women and sucks on them, on their blood, and
The
because
fetuses.
yeah,
It sucks
it
the
is
fetuses.
the most disgusting thing, looking
And
thing
cute.
ever. Like,
In the beginning, it's cute because it's like
no,
if you decide
it
to
is
attack
disgusting.
it,
It is still disgusting, even when it's still a baby. Did you save it or did you kill it?
I saved it.
And after you save it, it is still disgusting looking. It is. They just
No,
removed the
it was
texture.
it was a. It's
They
a
just
spirit.
removed the texture and made him transparent, and it's a derpy looking ghost demon baby.
But it's actually good. It helps you, and it's called Dia for your.
All
But
right,
it's
all
Her
right.
name is Dia. The fact
Moving on.
help. Wait! It's like it's good. In the end, you help them, and then it comes another decision, which because when you go to the witches, there's like this decision that you gotta help the witches in a thing, and there's like this spirit trapped in a tree, and then you have a very decisive decision that will ruin the game if you choose wrong, because okay, the spirit wants you to free it, but the witches want you to kill it. The fact is, you save the spirit tells you that the crones are gonna kill a bunch of a bunch of kids they have there if you don't save the spirit. But if you save the spirit will save the kids. And you're like, yeah, I should probably help the kids.
Okay.
I went to bitch and I said, no, fuck the kids. I'm gonna help the witches.
Well, here's the thing. If you decide if you
If you
decide
decide to help the spirit helps you and save the kids. Yes, but then since you didn't kill the spirit, the witches will get so mad that they're gonna get mad at the people, and the people are gonna suffer
no,
in the
no,
land.
that's not what happens. They kill or make it impossible to save the Baron's wife.
Oh
But
yeah, that happens
the
too.
horse,
That happens.
the demon spirit, which possesses a horse, kills the entire village that was under the witch.
Oh yeah, too.
So both decisions suck.
No, help the
Yeah.
witches. I help the witches.
You help
And
the witches to save the
And you
Baron's
save the
wife.
wife. And
That's-
you save the wife.
But for an entire
Save the wife.
village, and she killed her son or her daughter. She killed her baby daughter because she didn't want it.
But you help a family to reunite.
But you killed an entire village.
All right, all right, all right. Now let me
The
get
fact
to my.
is, you help a family. You help a family
Okay.
reunite back together.
Anyway, like I was saying,
Who gives-
both
Who gives a
both
fuck about
decisions
the other people?
both decisions are shit. Neither of them are good.
No, wait. But the game is full of that thing. The only decision that is pretty good in the whole game that you feel good about is when you go to Novigrad and there's like this haunted house, but there's a Gotling. I think that's
Oh
her name,
yeah,
right?
yeah. That's the
And
only.
the Gotling wants to she loves the house. so she wants to stay there. But since she's a godling, it's a monster, she can't buy the house. So they still want to buy the house, but she just started making the house like it's haunted, so people didn't get the house. So you can decide two things. You can throw her out, or you can just lie to the guy who has the house and say the house is haunted. I can't lift it, which is basically a big lie because you're a witcher. That your job is to lift curses.
Hmm.
So I just went and lie, and then you go back to the house because there's like another quest that says the haunted house again, and you're like, oh my god, really again? What she did this time? And when you go there, you realize that there's a woman that you help in the story that she buys the house, and she starts getting along with the godling, and they just took the house and they lived together happily. So you feel good. That's a good one. For decisions like that one, I feel good.
Okay.
All right. All right.
I
Anyway,
even helped the family of the Baron, so I feel good.
well,
People
let's move on
decisions
to
like
Zyberpunks because this is taking a bit long.
Yeah. All right. All right. So let me get to my top three favorites. The third one will be EX Troopers. That one changed my life. Like
Is
literally.
this like your number three or like
Yeah,
number
it's
one?
it's a number three. But it's still a number one that actually changed my whole universe. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, so EX Troopers is this academy that um they do missions, side quest, with competitions in the school, just like any typical anime out there that is like a school, a guy, and there's a bunch of girls, and there's robots in it, and it's pretty cool. It's awesome. It's like a third person shooter. Um, but actually you can do more stunts, combinations as fighting. The story is simple, but it's because I didn't quite understand back then because I did not know Japanese back then, but now I know.
Mm.
I know a little bit, reading and listening to them. I can actually follow. Um, but yeah, it is very good. Even the music was so epic. Electronic music of that game was incredible. I love good music in games, and if a game does not have good music, it has zero verdict for me.
The
Um,
Witcher has such a great music.
you
Yeah.
got that right. You got that right. Um, what else can I say about EX Troopers? The graphics are good because it's like anime style animation. The characters are cool. You can identify with each character there. The problems, the things that's going on in the academy. It's so cool. It's awesome. The second one, I'll say that PlayStation 2, Full Metal Alchemist, Curse of the Crimson Elixir. This
Oh,
one, this one actually, like, wow.
What console
Even,
is this for?
huh?
What console is this for?
PlayStation 2. This was
Okay.
the second game for, yeah, the licensed game Full Metal Alchemist, because the first one was The Broken Angel, and the second one was Curse of the Crimson Elixir, and this one was at the beginning was like the anime, but actually changed uh towards another type of story, not Edward and Alphonse looking for the stone anymore. It's just helping uh, this friend to to fix something, and to fix something that it's big. It's actually a huge problem, for for them. And what I really like about this game is that even though the anime, we all see Full Metal Alchemist here, there won't be no spoilers because it's everyone saw Full Metal Alchemist and the Brotherhood too. Like some of them skip
Yeah.
Brotherhood, but
Hey, I saw Brotherhood completely. I'm proud of it.
Yeah, we're talking about the anime noobs.
yeah. So, the thing is that the game tells the story so differently. It's like Full Metal Alchemist can tell different sides of story, even though Edward and Alphonse are still looking for the stone and restoring their bodies back. But in each thing that the author, wants to change a bit the story, it's so good because in the Broken Angel was another type of theme, another type of game, um, besides uh, the Crimson Elixir, and there's so many ways to tell the story. But this one was like, man, it started like the anime and it ended up like another thing, like man, and you can actually feel that even Edward. I like Edward, Elric, Alphonse, and all the characters from Full Metal Alchemist. I love them so much that I'm like, wow. Oh man, I really wish they could do a new Full Metal Alchemist game, but it's I don't know.
And that's
What?
they ended so good.
I know,
Well,
I
they're
know.
probably not gonna make it anymore since there's no current running anime of it.
Yeah, but I really want another game.
unless there's
That's
some unless there's some other idiot that does the same thing that the Enrix did.
Yeah. But there's so many ways to tell this story. I have like three novels of Full Metal Alchemist right now, and they're totally different story, even though they're going to their objective to get to the stone
Yeah.
and recover their bodies. The same thing, but they have it's an adventure. It's an adventure, and that's what I like about this game. It changes completely what you're going to see. It's like okay, the beginning is like the anime, but it keeps on changing what way. This is not in the anime, and even though the story is different, I love it. The characters, there's new characters that's a good thing, and the actual combinations of the fighting combat, the fighting, the combat system.
Mhm.
There's obviously two button combos, like always. There's nothing new about two button combos, and they work pretty well. Um, the music, again, the music was so well done. Man, I just wish that this game could have been a little bit longer. It was long and challenging. Back in the days, I was like, man, this game is so damn hard. And I know, like, damn, I almost I rage quit like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, I am playing this game. I stopped playing for 2 weeks and then came back. And that's the whole point, of me being. I was that type of idiot back then, but now I'm like, man, this game. I'm so lucky that I have not sold this game because I still have my PlayStation 2 games and all my PlayStation 3 games, of course. But PlayStation 2 games like this one is like so nostalgic, just like Mega Man Battle Network. I still have those games, and man, it's just life changing. Really, it's in my heart. That was just number two, but number one, and I think you guys know that um, it was gonna be Dead or Alive. It was gonna be Dead or
Yeah.
Alive.
Yeah,
But
we all
Pledge
know
was
he
just
loves
Dead or
the
Alive
boobs.
Extreme 3.
Oh yeah.
We all know that you just love the boobs.
So it was gonna be that, but a game just kicked that one out of the way, and that is Shenmue.
Please.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
That is Shenmue. And
Okay.
ever since last year's E3, Sony's E3, I'm like, Man, what is that Shenmue game?
New Shamu coming.
And I'm like, man, I have got to have the experience before the third game comes out. And I suddenly, bought the Dreamcast. I told Shinja about it, like I'm gonna buy a Dreamcast, I'm gonna buy the some games, pirate some games, like I don't care. I just want to play Shenmue. And when I started playing Shenmue, I was like, man, I'm so lost, just like any RPG game with me. And man, it's like playing this dude's life. It's like you're living this dude's life, literally. It's you're seeking revenge on your dead father. But you have these obstacles that comes in the way while searching for who actually
The
killed your
murderer.
father, who actually is behind why your father's dead. Um, but it's not just revenge. It's about family. It's about friends. It's about uh, the way of martial arts too, because this was going to be a virtual fighter game, but it turned out to be a virtual fighter game, but RPG, open world style. It still had that fighting system in the game, and it actually has some cool ass combos, like a lot of combinations in the game. It's not just one or two buttons. You just have to press up, down, just like a Street Fighter type of difficulty of combinations in battle. Um, the thing is that when I play this game is wow, Rio, the protagonist, just like man, this guy. It kind of looks like you know, um, I can identify myself with the dude. I mean, I can actually feel his feelings already. I'm like, man, I'm like, with the feels and all that. I'm like, wow, this is a story-driven, crazy ass shit. It's so good. It's so. If people used to play this back in the days, like they were just kids. Some of them were adults, but I I don't see this game boring. I don't see this open world game boring at all. Even back then, if I would play this game, I wouldn't see it as boring as people would have, say back in the days. It was because it was open world. It was like, uh, there's no heavy dialogue because the dialogue is so important. It's like the game obligates you to not skip it, and I don't think there's a skip button for the cutscenes either. I mean, you will love all cutscenes. Wow, it's just I fell in love with the game the first time I just played it, and I can't wait until I get play the second game and the third game. Also, the Shenmue series. I mean, the Shenmue One has also good music, which I really want to buy the soundtrack, even though it's on YouTube or not. I'm just going to buy the CD because I respect that music because it's
You can't
classic.
fanboy.
I'm
Well,
fanboying right now, and I just
as a musician, you can also like really appreciate the effort put into it and the
yes,
emotion, right?
I
So
actually I actually did a cover Shenhua on my other channel, and I that proves that I really love that kind of music, that type of Chinese because it also has that Chinese culture, not
Mhm.
just Japanese. It's also Chinese culture in the game. And wow, props to Yu Suzuki, which is the author, uh, the composer. I do not remember its name. Wow, the actual characters, voice actors, the English and the actual Japanese. And I can't stop fanboying right now because this game actually changes the universe of what I can see, right now that open world are very good, and there are other open worlds games that came from Shenmue, inspired by Shenmue, and I'm proud of it.
Sweet.
Yeah. So
No. So,
so I think that's it, guys. It's already 1 hour.
Yep, 1 hour and 2 minutes. Awesome.
All right, we covered up the 1 hour podcast. So,
Yeah, that's pretty good. We all took like 20 minutes each.
oh yeah, man, it's this. I love this
see,
podcast. This podcast is
you
gonna
see,
be one of my favorites.
That's good. I'm sad Dan wasn't here,
Yeah,
but
man,
maybe
I'm
some other time.
totally sad. Yeah, maybe we should
I'm
do a
pretty sure
part
what he
two.
was gonna say. I'm pretty sure I know what he was gonna say. Basically, almost
Well,
was oh, they were gonna be Nintendo.
I can tell you his number one was gonna be Smash. Like,
Yeah,
no
pretty sure.
doubt. But yeah, we can do another one with Dan.
Oh yeah, the part two.
Maybe one was Kaylin as well. Dan and Kaylin.
Yeah, Dan and Kaylin. Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
this was a
way.
fun podcast, indeed.
That way, I can talk about White Knight Chronicle, which is a great game.
This is the other. It's gonna be called top three favorite games. The ones that we did not mention. Basically, we also have other favorites. I mean, it's not just all those three.
Yeah.
There's a lot,
I mean,
tons of games.
These are my top 3 favorite games. These are not my top 3 games per se.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's it, guys, and I hope you liked this video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. And this has been Zyberpunky.
And Kotaru.
Hey, and this is Shinja. You may not know this, or you may already know it. I have a YouTube channel named Karibukai Play. I make videos over there with Officer Dan. We make stuff all the time, and we live stream sometimes every Friday, possibly. I don't know, maybe. But you should come check us out and give us a like and a subscribe, maybe. Please notice me, senpai. Anyway, this has been Shinja, and we'll see you all in the next podcast.
See you guys later.